Hey, what's going on, everybody? So real quick, I wanted to talk about the Psijic Order and the Mages Guild. So I've been playing this game for a little while now, and I noticed a lot of people were talking about how they just didn't even want to grind specifically the Mages Guild because it requires you to go all around Tamriel collecting all of these books. And I've also heard it's actually even worse with Psijic Order. They're just like, man, having to go all around Tamriel again to like close these portals and stuff. I just don't really want to do that. Well, my recommendation is to farm Mages Guild and Psijic Order together, and especially as a new player to ESO, or if you're just creating a new character, doing these right off the bat is very beneficial in multiple ways. So what I would suggest doing, even if you're not a new character or if you are, either way, grinding both mages and Psijic Order, you're doing both of the most time-consuming quest lines at once, which means you're going to be getting rid of ever having to do them again. So if you grind just Mages Guild only, then you're like, oh, I don't want to go back and do Psijic Order, or you want Psijic Order abilities, but then later on in the game you want to finish off Mages Guild. Well, you're not going to really want to do that. You're going to be like, oh, this is so boring. But if you do them both together at the beginning of your character's playthrough, they're already done. You never have to worry about them again. And it makes me a little bit sad when people are like, I don't want to grind Psijic Order, I don't want to grind Mages Guild, like, I don't really care about the abilities that much and stuff like that, because there are some fantastic abilities in here, and there's some specific benefits for like the way you build your characters and so on and so forth. So what I would suggest is you create a new character or you're a new player in ESO. The first thing you're going to want to do is wherever you spawn in, so you made a new character, you want to go to the nearest town wherever you from wherever you spawned in. Go to the Mages Guild. This is a symbol you're going to want to look for. You might as well get Fighters Guild while you're here too, because you're going to want the dialogue option passives that you get from Fighters Guild and Mages Guild. So if you look at the skill line, the first passive, you'll want to get each one of those. But this is a symbol you're looking for. You go here, you talk to the mage. He gives you the ability to be a member. So then now you can get the books and earn the XP. Then you're going to want to take the Way Shrine, and you're going to want to go to Somerset. Now you're either going to have the Somerset DLC or ESO Plus to go here. But you just grind a few of the main questline abilities and you'll unlock the ability to go to Artaeum. Then you're going to go to Sepra Tower. You're going to run into an NPC here that allows you to start the Psijic skill quest line. And once you do, it's going to tell you to go to a certain amount of areas that have Psijic portals in them that you need to close. So let's say, for example, it's sending me to do a group like over here or something. Specifically, Malabal Tor has a few portals that I need to close. I'll go here as a new character and I will start looking for the portals to close, but I'm also picking up all the books in this area. I'm also unlocking all the way shrines and all the locations for XP. So when I took my Templar through here, I was level 4 when I started. I was level 21 when I turned in the final Psijic skill line quest. And that was just from closing portals, collecting books, exploring the area, so essentially just walking through the area while I'm looking for books and portals, and killing anything that's in my way. And that was it. The only quests that I turned in was the Psijic skill quest lines. That was it. And I was able to go from 4 to 21. And early on, as a level 21 character, as the Templar, not this character, but as the Templar, you have all of these abilities. You have all of these abilities available to you around level 21 with your character. Now, keep in mind, as a new player, there was some areas that weren't unlocked, so I had to travel through other areas to get to the areas to close the portals. But while I was traveling through those areas, I collected the books there too. So by the time I turned in the final Psijic skill passive or quest, I was between level 9 and 10 with the Mages Guild. So I only had like 4 or 5 more books to pick up to finish this off. So I was already at 10 with the Psijic, and I was almost at 10 with the Mages. So I was level 21, and I already had Psijic and Mages completely maxed out and completely unlocked. There's so many benefits to these two classes that I felt like I needed to make this video so that people would know, if you grind these out as soon as possible, you're getting them done and over with. You're getting some of the most grindiest content done and over with. You're done with both of them at the same time, and you get some fantastic abilities for multiple reasons. Like, let me just give you 2 quick examples. The first example is my Sorcerer right here. My Sorcerer is kind of squishy. So I have the Psijic Order giving me plus 10% critical damage, an increase to movement speed so I can get out of the way of damage, because like I said, my Sorcerer is a bit squishy. He can be killed pretty easily. And from the final passive, Deliberation, I'm getting a reduction to my damage taken by 30%. That's a big. And then I also get a concentrated barrier just because I have a Psijic Order ability on my bar. So all I have to do is go like this, activate this, and then just block. And I'm getting a lot of damage reduction, and I'm getting a 5,000 damage shield. So it effectively makes my Sorc a little bit less squishy, which is really, really nice. And then also, because my Sorc doesn't get Empower from his class, I need to get Empower from somewhere. So in the Mage's Guild, just casting one of these abilities, I get Might of the Guild, Empower for 10 seconds. So I get an 80% increase in my heavy attack, which is really, really nice for Sorcs. And then another example is I created 2 Templars. I created one Templar just to play with. The other Templar I created to farm the Mage's Guild and Psijic to see how easy and quick I could do it for the benefit of this video that I'm making right now. But I also was like, I don't want to create 2 Templars and make them the exact same way. So I was like, okay, if I don't run Adric Spear, then how am I going to get my plus 20% weapon and spell damage? Well, I can get it from the alternate morph of Entropy. Because of my Sorcerer, I went with Structured Entropy because I get the 20% weapon and spell damage from Critical Surge. But as a Templar, I'm like, I can't get it from anything but Adric Spear. But if I don't run Adric Spear on my other Templar, because I don't want it to be the same rinse and repeat, build, then I can run the alternative of Entropy, the other morph. And on top of that, if for whatever reason I don't want to run the Empower ability because I just don't like the way it works or whatever, like the way it casts, I just don't like it, and for whatever reason, I can also run the Might of the Guild final passive. So just from one ability, Structured Entropy, or in this case for the Templar, the alternate morph of Entropy that gives me the 20% weapon and spell damage, I'm getting that, and I'm getting Empower, both from just casting one ability. So one ability slot is being taken up but giving me 2 buffs, and is doing damage over time by casting it on an enemy. So I'm doing a damage that is giving me, I'm doing a damage ability that's giving me 2 buffs because I have the alternate morph of Entropy and I have the Might of the Guild. Super, super great. So I just wanted you guys to be aware of this. There's so much that you get out of these, but people just don't want to run them. They don't want to have to grind them. Well, grind them together. That's my personal opinion to you guys. And as when you create a new character and as a new player, grinding them together right at the beginning of the game, you're getting these 2 out of the way. You don't have to deal with them anymore, and you're getting some fantastic abilities for early build. Now, you might change these abilities up or not use these abilities at all the later in the game you get. But having some abilities that are all on one bar, by the way, so I'm getting really, really decent amounts of damage and a lot of defense at level somewhere around 21 for your character. That's quite the benefit. But let's say that you really don't want to grind Mage's Guild, you really don't want to grind Psijic Order, you're not interested, maybe you'll do it later on, you're just not interested, you'd rather just grind out Mage's Guild as you do each area with the main quests you get from each area. You don't feel like directly grinding this, you don't feel like grinding a Psijic Order, it just takes too long. At the very least, you should go and do the start of the Psijic Order. And the reason that I say that is because if you go over to Artaeum, you go here, you start the first quest from the NPC there to start the Psijic skill line, and then just go on and do whatever else you want to do. Don't continue grinding the Psijic Order. You want to get to see the unseen, at least get this passive, because this allows you to see little portals all around Tamriel. And if you open those portals, it's basically the equivalent of opening a chest in that area. You're going to get gold, weapons, armor, all different kinds of things, just because you went and got the first quest of the skill line for the Psijic Order. So if you really are not in the mood to do this, and you think maybe I'll do it later, but maybe I might not do it at all because it's just too lengthy, too grindy for me, I'm not interested, at least just go get the first passive. Because you will benefit greatly from just wandering around Tamriel, collecting what is the equivalent of chests. So you're getting bonus loot for free just going and getting the beginning of the Psijic skill quest line. But that's all I wanted to talk about. Like, comment, share, subscribe. Hopefully you guys found this informative, and I'll see you guys on the next one, all right? Laters.